right, so we're at the point to where I want to integrate this form into some sort of third-party service, and I was mentioning Wufoo in the past video or two, and doing a little more research, I realized Wufoo would be kind of a pain to update the way I'd like to. Wufoo gives you these forms that are ready to go. They're, validated and all this awesome things, awesome stuff. But to customize it, you have to literally download the code manually and put it in your theme. While that's not an issue, if I know Alyssa well enough, she'll want to update possibly these label elements, and then in doing so, some of this other stuff might be want to tweak as well. And that's all good and great, but that means me or her going in and editing the HTML, or editing the form first, downloading the HTML again, and updating the code every time. So to bypass that, I actually found a cool plugin from, what's his face? Imzur on GitHub. This guy, he's been contributing quite a few things for Kirby, but this one in particular is called Uniform, and there's actually documentation on it. But essentially you create a controller, which we haven't done yet. I'll show you how to do that. And then by using that controller, you get this variable out of it with all these parameters, and then it checks if there's a post method on the form, which is what we want here when you send the form or submit. And then this action takes place to send the form, but included is also CRF field, which is good for validating an initial submission, and then a honeypot field for like spam and stuff like that, like validation. So that stuff comes in out of the box. Luckily, we don't have to like worry about it. It's part of a plugin with Kirby, and I'm going to run through getting that installed in this video, and then we'll start integrating that form itself as well for the services page, and then again for the hire me page. One thing that changed, because I actually recorded an entire video with the Wufoo option and then just decided to change my mind there, is I got rid of our contact page. To me, that's kind of unnecessary, since hire me will be our main call to action on most of these call to actions on the site. So this will all go to the final, well, that needs to be updated, but it'll go to the hire me page, and then on this page we'll have a custom form as well. So I'm going to integrate this right now on the service one, so we'll actually create a custom form. To do that, if you visit the GitHub repo for this, I'll try to link that in the video notes. There is a documentation site, which is great, and the thing that helped me the most is the examples down here. But you do need to first download the actual repository, and I just did it this way. The traditional way is to download an actual zip file. I've already done it once, but I'm going to do it again. And there you just need to rename it the name of the plugin. So let's call it Uniform. And then this needs to go in your site plugins, and then paste that in. So now we should have this giant, basically object class thing to hook into and use for this mailing and contact form stuff, which is all provided by the plugin. And there's quite a few parameters you can set, a lot of different stuff you can configure depending on what you need. There's even an Ajax approach as well. So to get started, I'm going to use the basic example as a starting point. What you essentially need to do is create a controller for the template you're editing. So in our case, it will be services, and then add this to that controller. So I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to go to controllers, add a controller the same name as the template. So we'll want services here. Naming matters there, so make sure it's the same. So we have a template that's called services.php, and then we have a controller that's called services.php. I'm just going to copy and paste this code. It's a little hard to read on your screen, I'm guessing, but once we get it over here, it shouldn't be. We're returning a function and using this plugin from Uniform, and there's rules for a new form object that's being created. This will create what will be a basic contact form, which has an email, a name, and a message. The rules can be specific things. I think you can configure that as you want or as you need. There's different examples in this documentation. Definitely check it out. The URL is right there, or definitely go to Kirby uniform on GitHub. Just do a search. You can have these rules. You can have messages if the rules are unmet, stuff like that. And all this stuff comes in out of the box. You barely have to do anything to get it to work. We want to do some configuration here just so the email is set to the person who wants to get contacted. I'm going to use just my email for now for debugging. And the from would be just the typical from field. I'm just going to make that Alyssa's right now. So Alyssa at Endless Designs. Now you have to think, okay, this email, people can reply to it. If you want to set up an email that's a no reply kind of email, you can do that too, like a no reply at blah, blah, blah. That's kind of a common thing. But in this case, it's a pretty personable site. So I'm going to leave it as is. So that's set. So we've got our services here. One thing, I'm going to get this set up first, and then we'll go back and enter these actual fields. Actually, why not? Why not just do this the way we want? So we'll put name first, email, which is there. Phone will be phone. For now, I'm going to just have it as just an array. And then we'll have our date. So I'll actually get rid of this. I'm going to start with this and see what we can do. At this point, we need to add our template. Not necessarily create our template, but actually add our form to the template itself. So let's go ahead and grab this. Go to our template where we already have our form. Open the form snippet. I'm going to just paste this in the top right above this for now. And it's going to look kind of funky, but I'm going to keep that above the form we already have. That's just a basic placeholder for now. And we get this. We need to have, let's see. I'm going to get rid of the message block. I'm going to keep the name one, and then we're going to do I'm going to basically just steal elements from this. So if we have our action here on the form, we'll grab that, put it down below. And in our first form group, we have our email and name. I'm going to do label for name, do that, and then do this stuff right in the class, or actually in this class. We want to actually put the actual class attribute though. So I think that should be good. Yeah. Okay, and the value, let's see what happens there. So that should be set up. So I'm going to get rid of that one. And then we'll do the same for email. So that will go in the class attribute here, but we want to again get rid of this part. So it just echoes the error text itself inside our class. And then the form control thing here, we need to make sure that space, okay, that comes before it. This one comes after. I'm gonna make it come before just because it's consistent. Okay, and then we got our placeholder. We still need our value like before. Sorry if this is hard to read, by the way. In fact, for now, I might just do something like that. I need to fix that image. Maybe we'll do something like this just for now. I'll get this out of the way. And this. All right, so I'm going to remove this one. We do need these two fields. below, right before our submit button. So I'll probably put those here. I think they're hidden fields, so we should be clear there, I believe. And then there's some error stuff happening right after the form itself. So we're gonna do that as well. And then I'm gonna try to get this other stuff set up for the other fields. So I'm gonna do if error, name error, this, but I'm gonna do for phone in the class. So we need to change name to phone. Okay. And placeholder, so we do value. And same for date. All right, the only issue is figuring out how to make this a valid use case. Like, I don't know the documentation doesn't tell me enough about phone numbers. Also, if you notice, there's some styles. I actually went ahead and put these in my style sheet under our forms style sheet. It's basically a global one. I created a form style sheet and imported it into our global style sheet. So those are there now. So this stuff is what's hiding the spam stuff from those fields that aren't visible right there, the CSRF stuff for safety. So at this point, I'm gonna just try this. I mean, you could totally hack this thing so it's not like it's only in the future kind of stuff. I think there might even be like presets on the HTML you can do. Okay, so we got our success message. I'll let you guys see my email client and see if it worked. Sweet, we got it. I haven't tried this with like Gmails or anything like that. I don't know if there's some filters in place that prohibits that from working. And even if this uses like the basic PHP mail kind of thing or not, that, as you could tell, just didn't go in my spam. So that's a good thing. Like with WordPress or something, it seems like built-in contact forms and stuff always just go to the wrong spots. It's just kind of a pain to deal with. I think I'll leave that as is then. We're looking pretty good in terms of functionality here. On this form, we still need to add one on the Hire Me page. I still need to actually have a design for that. Right now it's pretty nil, pretty sterile. I don't have big plans for it. It'll probably be pretty simple. Basically another form, some contact information, maybe her social links, something like that. We're almost there. The blog itself won't be hosted on this site. I'm gonna go ahead and use Medium. I don't know that I'll screencast that part because it's basically just following directions on Medium and doing some domain forwarding and stuff on your domain provider. Maybe I will, I don't know. You'll see that in the next few videos, and then we'll start before probably that'll probably be like a very last step kind of thing. Before that, we'll make the site responsive. So the next part, I'm going to work on the Hire Me page. I will hope you will join me with that, and we're going to do something similar to what we did in this one and create a new form altogether for that page. So I'll see you there.